Police to set up task force to probe info leak on Tafiz fire case. EPF must adhere to SOP in overseas investment ventures. A very good evening and welcome. Thanks for joining us. You're watching the evening edition of News on 2. I'm Sept. A special task force will be established to investigate those involved in leaking information regarding the arrest of 7 suspects alleged to have burned the Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah Tafiz School in Jalan Datuk Keramat, Kuala Lumpur last week. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said that he took this matter seriously as matters such as this often occurs.
Itu satu kesalahan yang serius dan kita tidak boleh biarkan perkara ini berterusan. Bukan pertama kali berlaku. Dah banyak kali berlaku, dah banyak beri peringatan. Nampaknya ini tidak diindahkan dan saya memandang serius tentang perkara ini. Dan laporan polis telah dibuat, siasatan dalaman telah pun berjalan pada ketika ini. Jadi kita tunggulah hasil siasatan itu.
Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi said this to the media after an event held at the Bukit Aman Police Headquarters in Kuala Lumpur today. Statements from 13 policemen were recorded under Section 203A of the Penal Code and Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act over the leaked information relating to the deadly fire. All 13 policemen work at the Kuala Lumpur Police Contingent Headquarters.
4 out of the 7 injured victims in a Tafiz school fire who were initially reported to be suffering serious injuries in the blaze is now reportedly to be in stable condition. Health Minister Dato' Sri Dr. S. Subramaniam confirmed that 3 of them remain in intensive care while a 4th victim is being treated at the ICU Pediatrics.
Dato' Sri Dr. Subramaniam said the remaining 4 victims being treated at Hospital Kuala Lumpur will continue to be closely monitored to ensure a quick and smooth recovery.
They all masih stable, walaupun ada 1-2 yang kritikal, tapi masih di dalam keadaan yang baik. Dan memang ini satu perkara yang amat menyedihkan kita semua.
Dato' Sri Dr. Subramaniam, however, regretted the fact that all 7 suspects in the incident were teenagers, adding that they had also tested positive for drugs. He said this after officiating the Malaysian Diagnosis-Related Groups Application version 2 at the National Cancer Institute in Putrajaya today.
The Terengganu Fire and Rescue Department will hold a series of firefighting exercises for Tafiz school students and teachers throughout the state soon. Its director, Azlimin Matnur, said it is essential that such briefings are held as a first step to saving lives.
Kita juga akan membuat pengajaran berkaitan dengan bagaimana pelepasan diri boleh dilaksanakan oleh para pelajar dan guru-guru dan juga bagaimana mengendalikan sistem-sistem keselamatan kebakaran yang basic lah.
Azlimin added that the department has so far this year conducted checks on 12 of the 47 Pondok schools and Tafiz centres registered with the department, and the remaining schools were expected to be checked by year end. He said there were over 150 Pondok schools and Tafiz centres operating in the state, and he urged those who have not registered with the department to do so for the safety of students. He spoke to reporters after conducting a check at the Madrasah Al-Rahmah in Kampung Palo Sungai Kiat in Kuala Terengganu.
A Malaysian family of 10 who survived a fire in New Zealand on September the 10th has arrived safely at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport 2 today at 4:55 a.m. Now, the 5 victims were on holiday when their Airbnb house located at a hilltop near Clifton Terrace in Christchurch was engulfed in fire.
In recalling the incident, one of the victims, Rasul Abu Bakar, 59, said that the family members were performing their prayers when he felt heat from a floor below. Despite losing their possessions in the fire, including their money and passports, all the family members were safe, with 4 treated for moderate injuries and 2 for minor injuries. They were supposed to return to Malaysia on September the 13th, but because some of them were still in hospital and coupled with the loss of passports, they needed to extend the stay. Air Asia X CEO Benjamin Ismail, who was on hand to greet the family upon arrival, said upon being informed of the family's predicament by Tourism Malaysia in New Zealand, his company sympathised with them and provided them with free return tickets to ease their plight.
Former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad provided his statement in front of the Royal Commission of Inquiry, or RCI, today into Bank Negara Malaysia's foreign exchange or forex trading losses in the 1980s and 1990s. In his statement, Tun Dr. Mahathir said that he had been verbally informed on the losses in the late 1993 during a meeting held with former Finance Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim and Ministry Secretary General Tan Sri Clifford Herbert. Tun Dr. Mahathir in his statement, however, said that he does not remember if the amount of total loss, which amounted to 30 billion ringgit, was brought up during the meeting. As he remembers, only around 5 billion ringgit was mentioned, and he had known that the loss faced by Bank Negara in the year 1992 was 5.7 billion ringgit, as informed to the Cabinet. Tun Dr. Mahathir said no written documents were shown or given to him during the meeting, on saying, "Sometimes we make a profit and sometimes we make losses." He said that it was not a weird statement in the forex trading. This is because the then governor of Bank Negara, Tan Sri Jaafar Hussain, had informed him that the forex transactions helped in balancing the country's reserves and the economy. Tun Dr. Mahathir said such statements would not be said if the losses had amounted to 30 billion ringgit.
Meanwhile, the Commission also called on Tun Daim Zainuddin to provide his statement into the issue. In a 2-hour question and answer session, Tun Daim stressed that he was not given any briefing or explanation on the transaction. He added that he had never interfered in the affairs of Bank Negara, as it was not within his jurisdiction. Just like the central bank in other countries, the Bank Negara is free in terms of control and operations. Tun Daim was appointed as a finance minister on July the 14th of 1984 and resigned in March 15th of 1991 before being appointed again for 2 years in the early 1999.
Now, the Health Ministry intends to set up a Health Services Commission to improve the salary scale and create a specific posting scheme for professional medical practitioners. Its Minister Dato Sri Dr. S. Subramaniam said it is also expected to address the issue of skilled manpower serving overseas. Dato Sri Subramaniam said this matter had previously been discussed with the Public Service Commission, or SPA, and the Public Service Department, or PSD, but did not receive the government support and approval.
Sekarang sudah banyak persaingan di antara mereka kuat, so there is a challenge. Tetapi untuk memastikan bahawa bayaran di dalam sistem Kementerian Kesihatan ialah selaras dengan apa yang mereka boleh dapat di luar, boleh dibuat, kata tak boleh dibuat, itu ialah satu perkara yang telah dibincang sepanjang lama dengan perkhidmatan awam dan sebagainya. Kerana kita kena memahami di dalam JPA dan SPA tidak ada sistem yang khusus untuk perkhidmatan kesihatan, tak ada. We come under the overall civil service.
Dato Sri Subramaniam said this at a press conference held after officiating the Malaysian Diagnosis-Related Groups Application version 2 at the National Cancer Institute in Putrajaya today. Now, the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, or NIOSH, has been invited to be part of a task force to coordinate safety aspects at residential Tahfiz or Islamic religious schools nationwide. According to Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, the Education Ministry should not be shouldering the responsibility alone in looking into the safety aspects at these schools.
Kita tidak boleh hanya mengizinkan Kementerian Pendidikan melihat soal keselamatan ini mengikut sudut pendidikan saja tanpa dibantu oleh kita. Kita mahu anak-anak kita di sekolah selamat. Kita mahu anak-anak kita di sekolah berada di tahap kesihatan yang tertinggi. Jangan lupa guru-guru dan tenaga pekerjaan yang lain di sekolah-sekolah adalah merupakan sebahagian daripada kita. Saya memberikan empowerment ini kepada NAYOS untuk melihat. Itulah sebabnya apabila kebakaran di Mak Tafiz, na'udzubillah, janganlah berlaku lagi.
The Deputy Premier said this when opening the 20th Conference and Exhibition of Occupational Safety and Health in Putrajaya today. The appointment of Dato Shaharuddin Khalid as the new Director General of the Road Transport Department, or JPJ, is a milestone as it involved the appointment for the first time of an officer not from the Administrative and Diplomatic Service, or PTD. Now, the move was another effort by the Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak, to strengthen and improve the image of all enforcement agencies in the country.
Dato Shaharuddin clocked in for duty at 8 a.m. today at the department's headquarters in Putrajaya. Upon arrival, he was greeted by JPJ officers in an official ceremony in the lobby of the Transport Ministry's building. Dato Shaharuddin, 57, replaces Dato Nazri Siron, who led the department since June 16th of last year. Speaking to reporters at a press conference earlier, Dato Shaharuddin pledged his commitment to rebrand and improve the department and bring it to greater heights, hoping to do better in terms of good governance and service delivery. He was formerly the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, Legal Advisory Office head. Amongst his other previous positions are the MACC's Academy Management Centre's Head of Corporate Integrity and the MACC's Inspection and Consultation Division's Director.
Perak Police seized various types of drugs following the arrest of over 5,000 people between January and August this year. From the number of persons arrested, 1,664 were suppliers, 3,813 were in possession of drugs, and 96 were detained under the Dangerous Drugs Special Preventive Measures Act.
Dadah yang telah dirampas, dadah sabu sebanyak 79,179 gram, 0.08 gram, dadah ketamin sebanyak 934.54 gram, pil ekstasi sebanyak 2,480 biji, pil yaba sebanyak 180,001 biji, dan pil erimin 18,098 biji.
Speaking at a media conference in Ipoh today, Perak Narcotics Criminal Investigations Department Chief ACP R. Ravichandran said, aside from the drugs, the police also confiscated close to 5 million ringgit worth of assets in connection with drug trafficking during the period. 39 individuals were arrested in 27 operations held around Sarawak last week for being involved in various gambling activities. State CID Chief SAC Dato' Dev Kumar said the operation, which was carried out in 15 districts, targeted sales of illegal lotteries, betting, cyberspace gambling and gambling in public spaces. SAC Dato' Dev, when contacted by RTM in Kuching, also said that the suspects were between the ages of 16 and 52 years old. Also seized were gambling items such as mobile phones, 10 units of computers and printers, and cash worth over 5,000 ringgit. The case is now being investigated under the Gaming House Act 1953 and the Betting Act 1953. A motorcyclist was killed after he was hit by multiple vehicles, while a Good Samaritan who tried to help him was severely injured during a series of accidents involving 4 vehicles in Batu Pahat, Johor today. Batu Pahat District Police Chief ACP Abdul Wahid Musa said the crash happened at kilometre 75.7 along Jalan Air Hitam Machap at about 1:45 a.m.
Initial investigations showed that a motorcyclist was already on the road after he had either skidded and fallen or was involved in an earlier accident when he was hit by a car. Soon after, another vehicle that was trailing the first car could not brake in time and hit the victim, dragging him almost 100 meters along the road, causing him to sustain serious injuries and died at the scene. A Good Samaritan stopped to help the victim, but another car crashed into them. ACP Abdul Wahib added that the accident happened in a dark area that did not have street lights and just after a downpour. Both victims were sent to Hospital Sultanah Nora Ismail. The case is now being investigated under Section 41, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987 for reckless driving.
Coming up, Goods and Services Tax Act 2014 to be amended. Stay with us, that story in a moment. Thanks for staying with us. The Employees Provident Fund, or EPF, must adhere to a stringent standard operating procedure before being allowed to invest overseas in view of its status as the country's main retirement fund trustee. Deputy Finance Minister 1, Dato' Othman Aziz, said, in this regard, EPF has to make sure its investments were conducive and match its business plan to ultimately benefit the contributors in the form of dividends.
It was reported that the EPF had invested close to $7 billion in terms of equity in the US. Dato' Uthman added that the government investment arm, Khazanah Nasional Berhad, had also undergone the same stringent procedure before investing $400 billion in the US high-tech sector.
EPF dan juga Khazanah ni telah pun lama melabur di luar negara tau. Bukan sekadar di US saja, no? Jadi melabur di luar negara ni adalah sebahagian dari strategi korporat KWSP dan juga Khazanah untuk memastikan dia dapat mengimbangi portfolio pelaburan.
Dato' Othman was commenting on the opposition's criticisms on the government's move to support the EPF plan to increase its investments in the US.
The Goods and Services Tax Act 2014 will be amended to enable the Malaysian Royal Customs Department to collect taxes from foreign companies operating in Malaysia under the digital economy. Its Director General, Dato' Sri Subramaniam Tolasi, said that it is expected to be tabled when Parliament reconvenes next month.
To tell you the truth, nobody really knows how big the monster out there. Okay, once we amend the law, once we look into it in detail, only then we would know. But it could run into several billions.
Following the approval, GST may be imposed on companies operating outside but providing services in Malaysia, which includes Uber, Google and Facebook. Dato' Sri Subramaniam said this in a press conference held after the GST Conference 2017 organized by the Malaysian Institute of Accountants. Meanwhile, he said the Customs Department is on track to achieve its tax target of 42 billion ringgit for this year, including contributions from the GST. It collected 41 billion ringgit in total taxes in 2016. Meanwhile, at the same event, Treasury Secretary General Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Irwan Siriga Abdullah said that the Royal Malaysian Customs Department is expected to be corporatized by January of 2018. The corporatization is slightly later than its original plan due to the implementation of the GST. Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Irwan is confident that this move will increase the efficiency of the department in the process of tax collection. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Najib Tun Razak had earlier been reported saying that the move was the government's reward to the department due to its excellent performance, adding that the staff will also enjoy a better service scheme. He added that although the GST was harshly criticized, it was a bold step taken by the government to ensure the well-being of the people.
Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB continues to play an active role in supporting Malaysia's renewable energy generation target by leveraging its competitiveness and strength both locally and overseas.
In a statement, TNB said locally, the National Utility Corporation has formed joint ventures from a biomass power generation stations, amongst others, in Jengka Pahang with Felda and 2 biogas power stations in Layang-Layang Johor and Bangka Dato' Perak with Sime Darby. It has also formed joint ventures with 2 biogas power stations in Puchong and Jeram in Selangor with Worldwide Holdings. Apart from biomass and biogas, TMB has also embarked on the country's first large-scale solar through a 50-megawatt project in Kuala Langat, Selangor, as part of its non-regulated business. When completed in November of 2018, TMB's capacity of electricity generated from resources would increase to 73.2 megawatt from 23.2 megawatt currently.
Siti Nur Radia Ismail kicked off Malaysia's gold hunt in athletics at the ASEAN Para Games by winning the women's long jump T20 category at the Bukit Jalil National Stadium in Kuala Lumpur today.
The Rio Paralympics bronze medalist was too strong for the field as she leapt a distance of 4.99 meters today. It was off her personal best of 5.20 meters which she set at the Rio Games. It was a double delight for Malaysia as Nani Shahira Zawawi took the silver with a jump of 4.78 meters. Indonesia's Tiwa took the bronze with a jump of 4.66 meters. Meanwhile, in the men's 100-meter T38 category, national para-sprinter Muhammad Irwan Muhammad Nasrul had to be content with only a bronze medal after finishing third with a time of 12.66 seconds. Indonesian Sabto Yogo Purnomo claimed the gold with a time of 11.76 seconds, while Nathayot Achaikan of Thailand settled for silver with a time of 12.17 seconds.
Now, Thailand beat Malaysia 2-0 at the Tuwana Stadium in Yangon, Myanmar to win the 2017 AFF Under-18 Championship title on Sunday.
Malaysia had the first chance in just the 6th minute with the acceleration of Akir Rashid that got him past the Thai defence as his shot beat the keeper Kantapat Manpati but not the post. Thailand also had a good chance just before the break, but Malaysia's keeper Azri Ghani made a brilliant reaction save from the volley of Yutapichai Letung. But in the 48th minute, Thailand, who was starting to dominate, broke through thanks to a header from Ikanit Panya, giving them a 1-0 lead. Less than 2 minutes later, Thailand doubled that lead when skipper Chris Sarakaman headed home a free kick. But in the 66th minute, Thailand were down to 10 men when Wutbichai Kunkiam was sent off for his second yellow card after kicking out at a Malaysian player, while keeper Azri laid in pain on the pitch after crashing into the post defending a corner. Thailand continued to attack and just missed out on a third when Yutapichai Letum's header hit the crossbar. Malaysians were given the hope in stoppage time when they were awarded a penalty after a foul by Thailand's Panyawat Nisangram. But a poor spot kick from Zafuwan Aziman was saved by Manpati. The shoutout was preserved, and moments later the final whistle sounded as Thailand celebrated their victory in the 2017 AFF Under-18 Championship.
And that concludes this evening's edition of News on 2. In our top story, police are to set up task force to probe Info League on Tafiz fire case. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon for more updates. I'm Adrian Seat. Stay tuned to TV2. Thanks for watching.